Do we have to wait for that?
Steve, are we okay to go?
So it's 7 o'clock.
We call the Streets Committee to order at 7 p.m. All members of the committee are present. I'm going to call roll. Thank you very much. Mr. Dembinski?
Here.
Mr. Cowger?
Here.
Mr. Janik?
Here.
Mr. Heberling? Present. Mr. Nahorn? Present. Mr. Winarski?
Here.
And the chair is present as well. We have one item on the agenda today. It's A1906. That's an ordinance consenting to the State of Ohio Department of Transportation to perform mandatory guardrail upgrades on State Route 58 in the city of Amherst and declaring an emergency. Mr. Mayor, would you like to speak to this agenda?
I would, thank you. ODOT appears to have new rules on the guardrails and the end treatments to make them more safer within the state of Ohio, and they have recognized that our on-ramps at Route 2, both coming from the south and from the north, don't meet these requirements. They're the old A-type, what they call them, guardrail ends that would cause cars to overturn sometimes. So they have offered to replace those at no cost to the city. This agreement states that, and then of course, just like we're doing anyway, they ask us to take over maintenance and things like that. They will reimburse us if we have to move any utilities or anything of that nature. So this is just a pretty much boilerplate agreement to allow them to do that work for the city of Amherst free of charge.
And it's required by law to get approval from the city
They
council.
they need to have approval before they can work. Just like they did not too long ago, they worked on some land along Route 2 that was caving in or something. So same thing along that line.
Great. Any comments?
So it's a good thing.
Any comments or questions from committee members? Mr. Winarski.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Hate to be that guy again, but we're going to go to section 1. I caught a typo. I don't know if it's significant or not, but section 1, second paragraph reads FWHA mandates. It should be FHWA.
Where's that
Federal
again?
Highway Association. Right here under section 1, second paragraph. Right now it reads Fort Wayne Housing Authority. It should read Federal Highway Association.
Thank you. I'll make
That's all I got.
our
Thank
law
you.
department will take note of that.
Thank you very much. Mr. Winarski, any other discussion? If not, I would entertain a motion. Mr. Dembinski.
Move to send to the floor, council with emergency.
Mr. Cowger.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on the floor. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. It passed unanimously. Mr. Dembinski.
Move to adjourn.
Mr. Winarski.
I'll second.
Motion second on the floor to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned at 7:04.
Order. We'll carry over the roll call from the previous meeting. And we'll call this meeting to order at 7:05. Two items on tonight's agenda. First item, A1908, an ordinance appropriating funds for the city of Amherst share for the Cooper Foster Park reconstruction project between State Route 58 and Overland Avenue and declaring an emergency. Mr. Mayor, would you like to speak on that?
I would. Last council meeting, you passed the ordinance that allows us to work with the county to do this project. You've passed the ordinance to borrow the money, the $1 million of this project. It's going to cost a little bit over $1 million. So we think about $1,250,000. or a little less, it should, $1.2 million. But those funds will be available in 3 other accounts. So this just appropriates those monies for this project on Cooper Foster Road so that we can start paying our bills once those bills come in.
Thank you.
If you have any other questions, I'll address them.
Mayor, can you just outline the timeline for the general public on when construction begins, when construction goes to eastbound, one lane only?
Okay, construction was actually supposed to start yesterday. There were some paperwork glitches that happened. We've got a public meeting scheduled for tomorrow, and I think between 7 and 9 o'clock at the Lorraine High School. So there'll be more information given there, but we should start construction next week, I hope. This is a real long project. It was actually slated to be a 2-year project. It's cut down to 1 year, so we need to get started as soon as absolutely possible. It'll start at Route 58 in Cooper Foster and move its way east in about 200-foot sections with the sewer pipe. So as that project moves, it'll continue to move to the east. That'll be two-way traffic except for the construction zone during the first almost 2 months, month and a half. Sometime around March 1st, it'll move to 1-lane traffic only, and that will move from west to east. And there'll be the published detour will go north towards Lorraine and Tower Boulevard, I believe, back to 58, but I think residents and a lot of people will find their own way around. Kresge's been worked on. It'll handle a little more traffic. So there's a lot of other ways around other than the published detour. It's a big project, and it should last, I mean, it's slated to be paved then by the end of October. And there'll be more
all
work.
those businesses will have access points.
Businesses will always continue to have access through the entire project. It might be a struggle, you know, here and there, but the underground utilities is well aware of how important keeping business traffic in and out of those areas are. So our utilities group will be available, but underground utilities is well aware.
Great, thank you. No further questions.
Thank you, Mr. Janey. Anyone else? Mr. Ianarski?
I'd make the motion to send this to the floor of council with the emergency.
Mr. Nahorn?
I'll second.
Any further comments or questions?
I'd like to just make one more comment. These numbers are not in the interim budget. If the final budget does, I'm hoping to have the final budget ready for you before the next committee meeting. So for some reason, if that doesn't happen, we'll probably have to amend the interim budget to include some of these numbers. So that just remember that that might be coming. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Any further comments or questions? Seeing none, there's a motion to take A 1908 to the floor of council with the emergency. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries 7-0. Next item, A 1907, an ordinance authorizing the safety service director to bid and award the annual tree trimming maintenance program for 2019. Mr. Safety Service Director.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Coming back to you, this is our annual tree trimming program, new to Mr. Heberling, of course, but this is unchanged from last year. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer any of those for you, but as I said, this is the program that would come to you every year about this time of the year. So, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Ms. Jeffers. Mr. Dimbinski.
Move to send to floor of council with emergency.
That would be fine if we get started sooner. That would be much appreciated. Thank you.
Mr. Ianarski.
I'll second.
Further comments or questions on A 1907? Seeing none, there's a motion to take A 1907 to the floor of council with the emergency. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries 7-0. Mr. Dimbinski.
Move to adjourn.
Mr. Ianarski.
I'll second.
All those in favor of adjournment signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. We stand adjourned at 7:10.